Last time on Madden NFL 21 Toronto Huskies franchise, the Toronto Huskies won big time at home over their AFC East rival Miami Dolphins. So the offensive yards gains for Miami was 166, 402 for Toronto. Offensive rushing yards 100 yards in total for Toronto, 22 for Miami. Offensive pass yards there was 302 for Toronto, 144 for Miami. There were three turnovers for the Dolphins. The Huskies had no turnovers at all. And there was one 2 point conversion for the Toronto Huskies. So Drew Brees took home a perfect pass rating of 158.3, 66 yards, and two touchdowns on the day. Andy Dalton had a 143.7 pass rating, 195 yards, and two touchdowns on the day. Tua Tagovailoa had 79.9 pass rating, 151 yards with one touchdown and one INT on the day. Frank Gore, 5 carries, 77 yards, and one touchdown on the day. Chris Thompson, 2 carries, 13 yards, and no touchdowns. Andy Dalton, 1 carry, 1 yard, and a touchdown. Receiving wise, AJ Green was the only receiver to have at least more than 100 yards. So 5 receptions, 145 yards, and two touchdowns on the day. Corey Davis, 2 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar had 1 reception, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Michael Thomas, 2 receptions, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Defensively, this is where we really improved on. Preston Smith had 1 sack on the day, and Cameron Jordan had 1 sack on the day. Trevor Greensburg had one INT on the day, and there were no 2 point safeties, and there were no, CJ Mosley had a fumble recovery and for a touchdown, and I think that wraps it up, actually, for statistics from last game. Now, in the next episode, we will be playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. Alright, we are battling off against the Cincinnati Bengals in Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're hoping to go 9-0 on the regular season. Next week is our bye week. And when I looked at the calendar, this is our third to last road game of the regular season. And after our bye week, most of our games will be home. And then we might be, if we keep our games at a perfect record, then we'll likely be the number one seed in the playoffs and get a first round bye.
It's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals versus Andy Dalton and the Toronto Huskies.
Alright, this is Andy Dalton's and AJ Green's homecoming, both back to Cincinnati, where they started their NFL careers. Surprisingly to see that they both got drafted in the same year. So they spent 8 seasons together before Dalton joined the Dallas Cowboys as a backup to Dak Prescott in 2020. So they spent a good 8 seasons together with the Cincinnati Bengals. And we see the LSU product who won the national championship back in January of 2020, Joe Burrow. He passes the ball, and that will be a first down. Tyler Boyd caught the ball, so now this will be another first and 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals here as they are rocking in those orange jerseys. And I chose the orange. You're allowed to choose like your opponent's road or home jerseys, and I picked orange just because really orange is my favorite color, and it just looks so cool. Those orange jerseys look so cool. I mean, honestly, they do have one of the best looking uniforms in the NFL, in my opinion. So, that being said, because it kind of looks like a tiger when they're on the field. So this is 4th down and 3. AJ Green is ready to return the punt here for the Toronto Huskies. This is also his homecoming back. This is his first game back, but in a Toronto Huskies jersey. So we see Andy Dalton, the TCU product, who spent 8 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals, stepping onto the field for the first time today. And this is 1st and 10. We're at the 28. So since 2003, this Cincinnati Bengals team had 3 starting quarterbacks: Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, and Joe Burrow, really. And Carlos Dunlap is injured for the Cincinnati Bengals, as they are 510 to 1,000 receiving yards. We're halfway there with AJ Green of the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's going to throw it deep to AJ Green, and he dives on into the end zone for the first points of the game, as it will be a 7-0 lead here in Cincinnati. Huskies are leading the 7-0 here at Paul Brown Stadium in the 5-1-3. All right, now it's 1st and 10 as the Cincinnati Bengals lose 3 yards with Joe Mixon there. Kenny Clark made the stop. 2nd and 13 now for the Cincinnati Bengals as they are down at the 30-yard line. They're trying to aim their way to throw a passing. He throws it. Is it believed to have been Allen Rob? No, wait. So 57 total yards there. And this will be a 1st and 10. 60 passing yards for this Cincinnati Bengals offense. So 1st and 10. Mixon loses 1 more yard, so he has 2 rushes, -4 yards there on that carry. So 2nd and 11 now for the Bengals. They're 8 yards shy from getting it into the red zone. So they have to throw the ball. And does he get a 1st down? Does the receiver? They say the ball was in the red zone, so he reached it into the red zone, so they're saying yes. They're saying yes. So 1st and 10 now from the 17 here in Cincinnati. The Bengals are looking forward to scoring their first points of the game, as Allen Robinson, the former Chicago Bears wide receiver, loses 1 yard there, and it will be 2nd and 11 now for the Bengals. So now he's going to throw it. They are in goal line there, so this will be a 1st and goal for the Bengals, as they got 3 seconds to go before this first quarter ends. And first quarter is over. The Toronto Huskies lead it 7-0 here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now we got to do a blitz play here on 1st and goal as they are at the 4-yard line. So 1st and goal from the 4. Mixon gets stopped, only loses a yard there. So Preston Smith is injured, so he's down and hurt. So this is 2nd and goal now for the Cincinnati Bengals, as they are trying to get their first points of the game up. And Joe Mixon, he gains 1 yard there, so this will be 3rd and goal. He has a pectoral strain, Preston Smith, but he will return. 3rd and goal. Mixon lost 3 yards there. 4th and goal. 4th and goal now from the 5-yard line, as they are attempting to score 3 points up on the board. Oh, no, wait, they're not going to make 3 points. They are not going to make it. So the failed field goal for a touchdown is not good. So 1st and 10 now. We're at the 4-yard line here in Cincinnati. All right, now I'm trying to think, where should I throw it to? I'm going to pass it to AJ Green. He breaks a tackle. Oh, he's going to run it. Nobody's even going to stop him. No one's going to stop him. He's just going to run all alone and slides on in. Touchdown, Huskies. AJ Green gets a reception there, and this will be a 14-0 lead here. 10th receiving touchdown of the season. Receiving touchdown, and it will be 14-0 here in the 5-1-3. All right, it's 2nd and 3 from the 36. Mixon is trying to run to get a first down, and he does not make the first down, but he is pretty shy from it. It is pretty shy. 3rd and 1 now from the 38-yard line. 2-minute warning is coming up for the Cincinnati Bengals as they throw it, and it will be incomplete. So this will be a 4th and 1 now for the Bengals as they have to punt. And AJ Green again will be returning. And last time when they punted and we returned, we did not return at all. So we should be able to gain at least some good yardage. And we do. And it's a 2-minute warning, by the way. So it's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line here in Cincinnati. Dalton, I'm thinking he'll play quarterback for most of this game because it's his homecoming. He gets to reunite with his former Cincinnati teammates as well as AJ Green. And speaking of AJ Green, he gets another touchdown, and this will be 21-0 here at Paul Brown Stadium. All right, it's 3rd and 11 now from the 35, and Allen Robinson gets a reception there, so they're aiming their way to get a touchdown, to get their first touchdown of the game. They're in the red zone, though, as it will be 1st and 10 from the 17. So now, 1st and 10 from the 17, passes it to Joe Mixon, gets stopped at the 11, timeout for Cincinnati. So, 2nd and 4 now from the 11. We're going to use a game plan play. And Burrow gets sacked, and the Bengals do recover. All right, now we're at the 18-yard line, 3rd and 11. Burrow throws it deep, incomplete. And they're going to have to do a field goal, and they'll hopefully get their first points of the game in the 2nd quarter. And they kick it. It's good. Bengals have 3 points up on the board, but they are trailing by 18. All right, now this will be our first kickoff return, and we get to return again when it begins the second half. So keep that in mind. Joe Hayden breaks tackles and will get stopped at the 44. We're going to take a break, and we'll see you guys at the second half. All right, and we return a kickoff again. We got Joe Hayden again ready to return a kickoff for the Toronto Huskies. It's now 21-3 here in Cincinnati, and he's going to get stopped at the 32. And this is now going to be 1st and 10, and this will begin the second half here in Cincinnati. So, Andy Dalton back to pass. He's going to throw it to Nelson Aguilar. Does he catch? He's going to run it. Jumps it in. End zone. Touchdown. Huskies. 5th receiving touchdown of the season for Nelson Aguilar. And this is now going to be a 29-3 lead because we're doing a 2-point conversion. All right, now it's 1st and 10 from the 45 here in Cincinnati. And Joe Mixon gains 9 yards on that play. So this is going to be a 2nd and 1 now for the Cincinnati Bengals here at Paul Brown. Now, Mixon, he loses 1 yard there. And this, well, let's just say he doesn't lose nor gain any yards. So this is 3rd and 1 now from the 46 here in Cincinnati. And Mixon, he's going to run it. And he gets it in the red zone And this will be a 1st and 10. So he's aiming to get his first touchdown of the game, while the Bengals only have 3 points. If they score a touchdown there, it will be 9, and then 10 if he does make a field goal, if he makes a PAT. 2nd and 12 now from the 20-yard line for the Cincinnati Bengals. And now Joe Mixon is going to get stopped and loses 3 yards there. 3rd and 14, third tackle for a loss for the Cincinnati Bengals. So 3rd and 14 from the 23. If they do not make a first down, they will be forced to punt. And they actually do make a first down. That's an improvement from the first half. So that's a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line here in Cincinnati. And he hands the ball and he loses 2 yards there. Rodney Anderson and Jawan Bentley makes the stop there. 2nd and goal now from the 12-yard line here in Cincinnati as he hands the ball off. The ball is fumbled. And the Huskies say they have it, and they do. Cameron Jordan, however, has recovered the football. And this will be a 1st and 10 from the 5-yard line. The Bengals get a 2-point safety now. And it's 7-14-8 and 3 and 2. And you know what that means? We have to do the free punt at the 20. And the Cincinnati Bengals gain possession of the football. So now he's going to get stopped at the 44-yard line. So this will be 1st and 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the beginning of the 4th quarter now. And we're leading this game by 24 points. And Joe Burrow runs it. The ball is out. Cincinnati recovers. All right, it is 4th and 9, and we get to return a punt with AJ Green. 4th and 9 from the 45. He punts it, and it's out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So this will be 1st and 10 for the Toronto Huskies. 1st and 10 now. I'm going to hand the ball off to Frank Gore, the former San Francisco 49ers running back. By the way, that was his number when he played in San Francisco. So he has 1 rush and 21 yards. So he had 21 out of 10 offensive yards. So our goal is complete. So we're going to use the 94 will. And this is going to be a 1st and 10. And we're going to run the ball. And he gets stopped at the middle of the field down at the 50-yard line. And we're still going to use Frank Gore until we possibly get a touchdown. So we're going to hand the ball off to Gore. Gets a 1st down. Not quite. Oh, yes, we do get a 1st down. We do get a 1st down. And we are at the 46-yard line. So we're going to run the ball. All right, now it's 1st and 10 from the 27. The Huskies are running this out. Frank Gore, he's going to run it. And we'll get stopped at the 8-yard line. 6 rushes, 70 yards. And we're at the 8-yard line. So we should be able to get a touchdown here on this rushing play. So we're going to hand the ball off to him. And gets it into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. And this will be his 1st rushing touchdown of the game. And this is his 2nd on the year. So this will be a 36-5 lead for the Toronto Huskies. Toronto leads us by 31, but they got 1 minute and 11 seconds before time runs out. So the Bengals need to get their first touchdown of the game if they don't want to fall behind in their passing and run game. So that being said, we'll see you guys on defense. All right, now this is 2nd and 18 from the 25, so we got 47 seconds left before this game is over. And Burrow, and we recover the ball. Cameron Jordan makes that fumble recovery. So J.J. Watt's got his 5th sack of the year. And Toronto has 2 takeaways. Le'Veon Bell is going to run it, and he will get stopped at the 4-yard line. And we got 30 seconds to go. I'm just going to use passing curls this time around. So I get sacked by Geno Atkins, and by the way, this is his first sack of the game. The game is over as the Toronto Huskies win it on the road by the final score of 36-5. This was a spectacular game for both AJ Green and Andy Dalton respectively, because they spent their first 8 seasons together with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they come back and win it. So 36-5, 303 passing yards, 85 rushing yards, and I think that wraps it up, everybody. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more content, and we'll show you the statistics here. Surprisingly to see, Andy Dalton had a perfect pass rating of 158.3, 6 out of 6, 326 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the day. Congratulations, Andy, you have won, and your Huskies are now 9-0 on the year. Joe Burrow, 96.9, 11 out of 17 there, 167 yards and no touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 12 carries, 37 yards, no touchdowns. Frank Gore, 7 carries, 78 yards and 7 broken tackles, along with 1 touchdown. Jared Cook had 4 receptions, 63 yards, no touchdowns on the day. A.J. Green, however, was the only receiver to have only over 200 yards, and I believe he's the only receiver from either team to have at least their receiving yards in the hundreds. So 3 touchdown receptions, which is impressive. Nelson Aguilar, 1 reception, 68 yards, 1 touchdown there. Allen Robinson, 2 receptions, 61 yards and 1 touchdown. No touchdown there. Corey Davis, 1 reception, 20 yards. So let's see the defense. Trevor Greensburg, J.J. Watt had 2 sacks in this game. Carl Lawson had 1.5. Geno Atkins had 1 sack on the game. So there was no interceptions. Fumble recoveries, there were 2.